Now that we can see the contents of inside the box, it doesn't look like a very big bike at all. Oh look, we even have a little pump right here. That's pretty cool. No bike company has ever given me a pump. I think we have a box of goodies right here or right here. Let's see what's inside this one first. We got pedals, reflectors, which I probably will not put on because I like to live on the dangerous side of life. Just kidding. I just think it looks better without reflectors. A bike lock? They gave us a bike lock. A cable lock. I probably wouldn't use this unless you live in a very rich area because these can be cut through pretty easily. But it's nice that we have this. Definitely can't use this in Long Beach. We have a bell. And we have a multi-tool. So I think if that was our box of goodies, I think this might be our charger. Yep, it's our charger. It is a 2.5 amp charger. We have a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery. So we take 15 divided by 2.5. The bike should charge in around 6 hours. Now that we've seen what's inside our boxes of goodies, let's have this bike set up in 3, 2, 1, bam! All right, the bike is complete. Now let's go over to see our battery and see if it's charged or not. We got the green light, it's charged. It appears that we need the key to lock it in place. It doesn't just snap into a locking position. Yep, now it's in there. All right, let's go over the specs starting from the front. We have some slightly knobby tires. I could not find a name brand on these tires. They're probably just generic tires. We have 160 millimeter rotors front and rear, paired with mechanical disc brakes. We have front and rear fenders. They look a little interesting to me because usually when I see fenders, they stick out a little bit to the front. These are just towards the back. I prefer the look where it looks complete and it goes towards the front also. We have our front forks. They are suspension forks with no adjustable knobs. It'll absorb some bumps. It feels like there's just springs in there. Pretty bouncy. We got a cool looking cafe racer style light with a daytime running light. It's a halo design. Looks pretty badass. Let's see how it looks when we turn on the light. I believe we just hold on to the plus button. Yep. Hey, that looks pretty bright. I like it. I love these type of lights. This cafe style is just something about the look I just love. Moving up top, we got BMX style handlebars. I like that they look very comfortable. They have a nice height to them, so I don't gotta be hunched over. We got rubber ergonomical grips. They are grippy. Our mechanical disc brake levers. They feel like mechanical brakes. Our toggle switches. And our display. Hold the power button. The display is very bright. I'm definitely gonna be able to see that in the sun. We have our energy bar. And it shows 10 bars. That's nicer than the typical 5 that I see. We have our standard 7-speed Shimano shifter. This is the industry standard. And we got a half twist throttle, my favorite. Moving to the middle of the frame, we have our lockable battery with the logo Hitway. It is a sticker, so this can be removed. We have a warning sign right here. This bicycle is not designated for competition, jumping, or off-road stunt use. This says 48 volt, 15 amp hour, 720 watt hours. Based off real life reports, people do say they can get 25 miles of range with this, which I agree, because my Super73 Z Miami has a 48 volt, 10 amp hour battery, I believe, and I can get 20 miles of range with that. So this is a bit bigger, so we should be able to get more range than 20 miles. I do like this frame design. This frame design sets you up for all kinds of modifications in the future if you like to go that route. Up on top, we have a long banana style seat. I like that it's nice and long so that you can probably squeeze 2 passengers on here. Or you can change your position so that you can extend your legs better for the pedals. If you're a bit taller, you just sit a little bit more back. Right over here, we have our rear shock bouncing up and down on this. This does remind me of my X Class. It is very stiff. I can barely move it. I'm moving it a little bit. I'm 170 pounds, so it'll definitely be better if someone was a little bit heavier. The seat height from the ground up is 33 inches. I am 5'6" with a 28-inch inseam. I am on my tippy toes. It's not terrible for me. I can always do the one-legged lean. Bam! One-legged lean. It's not too bad. We got our rear fender. It is super bouncy. I wish there was like a little support attachment over here to right there so it wouldn't move as much. We also have a nice brake light. No turning signals, but at least brake light is very bright. Check that out. And last but not least, we got a 750 watt motor that peaks at 1000. Our top speed should be around 20 miles per hour. Without further ado, let's take this guy out and go test ride it. All right, we are out here in the beautiful and ghetto Long Beach, California. We're currently on the Hitway BK29. Let's see how it performs in the city, yeah? So let's go to its lowest setting, pedal assist number 1. And it seems that pedal assist level 1 brings us to 9 miles per hour. What about throttle only on level 1? Yep, same thing. 9 miles per hour on throttle only. On pedal assist level 2, we get up to around 15 miles per hour. On the throttle, same thing, 15. There are 3 levels to this bike, so let's take it to the top level. Brake test. Hey, going over those bumps, the suspension felt decent. It's not bad. You know, for being mechanical disc brakes, this bike stops pretty good. For being mechanical disc brakes and for being just 160 millimeter rotors, this bike stops pretty good. I was expecting a lot worse with such small rotors, but this thing does pretty decent. This thing does have some pep. It's got 58 Newton meters of torque. So there's some pick up and go up until around 19 miles per hour. Seems like 19 miles per hour is our top speed. You know, I would like to see it hit 25, but it's not needed. I think for small bikes like this, 25 miles per hour is a sweet spot. But this is an $800 bike, so it's kind of hard to complain. This bike reminds me so much of my Super73 Z Miami. It's got the same exact torquey feeling. I haven't been out here that long and I already hear sirens. That's Long Beach for you. Another day in the LBC. Ooh, that's actually a good spot to do a hill test. We got a little slope right here. Let's see if we can climb it up. Hey, it's climbing up. 17 miles per hour. Solid. I seriously can't believe this bike's got full suspension and is in the $800 range. That's pretty crazy. E-bikes are getting so cheap. Yeah, our top speed. Oh snap. These brakes locked up on me. I skidded. Yeah, these mechanical disc brakes still work. Let's go on some grass, check out that suspension. Hey, I'm not complaining. This thing is eating up those bumps. Some more grass. I feel myself bouncing up and down a bit, but it's better than all that force being absorbed into my gooch. It blows my mind that the Super73, their base bike is like the ZX and the Z Miami models, right? And those things start at like 1,900 bucks for a rigid frame. The Z Miami has a 10 amp hour battery. This thing's got a 15 amp hour. So out the box, it's got more battery life and more range than the Super73. It's got full suspension. It's got a light. Yeah, the stock Miami doesn't even come with a light. That's crazy. The BK29 is literally better than the Z Miami and ZX in every single way except for the top speed. It's 5 miles per hour off. But this bike is less than half the price. I would give up 5 miles per hour to not pay like $800-900 more. Man, it's such a nice day out. It is not hot at all. It feels so nice. This bike is perfect for 2 types of people. And let me talk about the first one. Oh, hey, look. The spring says 750 pounds. It feels like 750 pounds. I could move it just a little bit. Yeah, so the first person that comes to mind when I think about this bike is a modifier. Someone that likes to tinker with e-bikes and they like to upgrade and modify their bikes. Why? Because we have a nice, perfect center storage space right here. This could fit a pretty big battery if you wanted to change this out. We have ample space underneath the seat for a controller. And this is the typical 20 by 4 inch fat tires. So there's a lot of aftermarket hubs that can be placed in here. So the platform you have right here is already amazing to upgrade. There's no need to buy a super expensive bike that's $2,000-3,000 and then upgrade that. Just start with this. Less than $1,000, upgrade it and have fun with it. Yeah, so let's talk about the second type of person that would buy this bike. I think this is the perfect buy for a parent that wants to buy their teenagers an e-bike and get them started in this type of hobby. Let's be real here. Kids can't afford these e-bikes, so they're gonna get their parents to buy it. And what happens a lot of times is parents go out and buy these super expensive bikes that are like $2,000 to $3,000, and kids will be kids, you know? They tend to drop their bikes, they just lean them over, let them hit the ground. They do wheelies and fall down with them. They don't really take care of the bikes like they bought it themselves. That's just what happens. They're kids. So why buy them something super expensive? Start with something a lot cheaper so that it doesn't hurt as bad when you see them destroy it. This will get them to school just fine. Even if you're a college student, if you're trying to get around from class to class, this bike is the perfect little commuter. We got another little hill up here. Let's check out how fast we can get up here. 17 miles per hour, 18 miles per hour, 19 miles per hour. We're hitting the top speed while we climb this hill. I'm so impressed. How can e-bikes get this cheap? What the heck? We just demolished this hill. Going downhill, we still hit only 19.8 miles per hour. Seems like there's some limiter in there that's cutting off the RPMs. Man, I'm still so amazed that transportation has never been so cheap. Like, instead of relying on a bus and you're just trying to get around the city, I would much rather use this bike. I'm 5 miles into this bike and the seat still feels pretty good. And the long banana style seat, if I scoot back a little bit, I can almost fully extend my legs. Let's check out the handling. Oh yeah, so light and tossable. Man, I wish I had this bike when I was in college. Getting from class to class would have been such a breeze. I used a skateboard to get around. That was pretty good, but this would have been next level. And if I scoot all the way forward, yep, there's enough space back there to fit another person. You could carry your homies to class too. All right, y'all, let's wrap this video up with some pros and cons. It's so hard to come up with cons for this bike because it's so cheap. But if I had to nitpick, let's start with the rotors. The rotors are 160 millimeters each. That is below industry standards. But even then, I can't really complain about that because it stops the bike. Yeah, it's technically below industry standard, but it stops the bike so quick still. The bike is so light, it doesn't really need a larger rotor. So I guess there's only one real con to this bike, and that is there isn't really an off-road mode. I would love it if I could get into the settings of this bike and jump from 20 miles per hour to 25. That's pretty much it for cons with this bike. There's not really much I can think of. So let's go into the pros, I guess. I really like this long banana style seat, and it's long enough to fit 2 people. You just get some aftermarket pegs and boom, you're set. The next pro is the design. It's got a sweet moped style look to it with that big old headlight in the front, and it's really bright. So props to Hitway for putting a decent light on there that's actually usable. And the last pro is the best one yet. You know I gotta mention it. Its price, $819. $819 for 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery, and a full suspension bike. Come on. I don't think anything compares to that right now. In terms of cheap and affordable e-bikes, this might take the cake. I've seen other cheap e-bikes on Amazon, but it's not full suspension. I don't know how Hitway can get away for selling this bike so cheap with 15 amp hours of battery and a full suspension bike. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this video here. If there's any discount code I can give you, it'll be in the description. If you're interested in this bike, please click that link in the description. It helps you and me both. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.